Dear chess friends, dear ChessMood family, I'm Grandmaster Johan Hellsten, and today we will have a look at a very interesting topic, exploiting the back rank. Here we are playing with the black pieces. As you can see, we're the exchange up, however, our opponent has a rather strong initiative. He's playing for an attack on the king side. If it was white to play, well, he will probably take on h4 at this point. Rook takes h4, and after rook takes h4, queen takes h4, our king would be in serious trouble. Only one idea for white here would be to play knight g4, trying to swap off the important defender on f6 in order to give check or even mate on h7. So for this reason, we have to be really careful here with the black pieces, and we should try to find a good way of defending ourselves. At this point, please pause your video and try to find a nice counter idea for black. Okay, I will continue. In the first place, we should notice that a move like rook d8 wouldn't change anything here really. White would just continue with the plan that we were just discussing, rook takes h4, and he would have a very strong attack here. On the other hand, we cannot move the knight, unfortunately. Knight e5 would fail to rook takes f7, attacking the queen on c7. However, if we look carefully at this position, we can notice that there are no white pieces on the first rank. So, this is an interesting place for us to develop a counterattack. And that's what happened in the game. Black played here a very nice move, c5. In the first place, we should notice that white cannot take on c5 with the pawn, because in that case, he would lose the knight on e5. So for this reason, after c5, white played bishop takes e5 instead. And by now, I'm sure that you know what black had in mind. Exactly, now black played queen a5. Suddenly the white bishop doesn't restrict the black queen anymore, and there appears the immediate threat of queen e1. White, in order to cope with this threat, played a prophylactic move bishop f1. But this is already bad news for him, because the bishop was very strong on d3, and now he will have to move it away. On the other hand, had he taken on h4, well, black's attack would be the stronger one here. Queen e1 check, bishop f1, and here a nice counterattack with knight e4. As you can see, we're threatening to give mate in two moves, and it's not easy for white to defend himself here. For example, if queen f3, trying himself to create a counterattack, well, black could just simplify here by means of the nice little sacrifice queen takes f1. After king takes f1, knight d2, black would emerge with a winning advantage in the endgame. On the other hand, if white plays knight f3 in order to prevent queen e1, well, black could just take on a2, not so much for the pawn, as for the opportunity to give check again on the first rank. So in the game, white played bishop f1, prophylactic retreat, and black hurried to play here queen d2, creating new threats. Now the white rook is in the air, and also black is trying to get knight e4 in with an attack against the f2 pawn. So after rook takes h4, black will just take on h4 and play knight e4. This would be really nasty for white. He has no attack anymore, and also the minus exchange is starting to tell here. In the game, he instead tried queen e3, and black wasn't even interested in swapping queens here. He just took the pawn on c2. White noticed that the attack is already over. There are new threats coming up, such as knight e5. They're followed in the game queen e1. Black simply played a6 here, protecting the pawn on b5 and also the pawn on a6. And after bishop d3, black took another pawn and went on to win. So, very interesting case, if we go back to the beginning, how we can use a counterattack in order to save our king. That happened here. Black noticed that the first rank had no defenders in the white camp, and for this reason he played here c5, so that the black queen would get access to the a5 square. And at this point, white was already beyond salvation. He had no good way of coping with the black counterattack. He tried bishop f1, but after queen d2, very nice counterattack move, black was already much better and went on to win. At this point, let's have a look at a little exercise. In this position, it is black to play. As you can see, white is playing for an attack here, but for the moment he has no control of the first rank. Let's see if you can exploit this situation in a good way. So please try to find black's best move here. You can put the answer in the comment section. Thanks for today and see you next time. Good luck, thanks for joining the channel, and ChessMood.